Hey class, this is the second video on the review packet. It's going to go over number 21 through 40. This video I'm going to try to go faster just so we can kind of get it out of the way, but these are how to do the last 20 problems. Okay, 21. You want to find out what x will be. We need to find this measure. If you were to take 180, which is a straight line, minus 126, that should be 54 degrees. Okay, because when I add these two angles, it gives me 180 degrees. Okay, if I were to add up these three angles of a triangle, it should equal 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those three. So x plus 17 plus 2x plus 40 and plus what I just found, 54 equal to 180. Okay, I'm going to combine x and 2x, which is 3x. Combine 17, 40, and a positive 54. This should be 57. And 57 plus 54 is 111. So positive 111 equal to 180. Subtract 111 to both sides. 180 minus 111 should be 69. Okay. If I divide both sides by 3, we're going to have x equal to 23 degrees. And that is A. Okay. Number 22, we're given certain information. We want to find one of these angles. We're given that angle 1 is 45 degrees. We're given that angle 4 is 50 degrees. And we want to find out what is 13. By using alternate interior angles, alternate meaning on the outside of our parallel lines, and exterior meaning on the outside, alternate meaning on the opposite side of the transversal. So I can say that angle 1 is equal to 12. Okay, so this is also 45 degrees. I can say that angle 4 is equal to angle 14 by alternate exterior angles. And looking at these three angles should equal a straight line, which is 180. So if I add up 50 and 49, that is 95. Okay, so I'm going to subtract that by 180, and that should be 85 degrees. Okay, so that is D. Alright, next one, 23. 23, it says, which pair of variables may show a positive association? For positive association, what we need, you can use this as something increases, another something else has to increase. That's how we can tell if something is a positive association. For a negative association, it goes as something increases, right? Another thing would have to decrease. Okay, so I want to work with this first example. As positive, as something increases, something else increases as well. So two things are increasing. The answer for this is D. The reason, just reading this, so number of text messages and cost of your monthly cellular bill. So just read this. As number of text message increase, the cost of your bill increase. And that makes sense, right? Because the more text messages that I send, the more I'll be paying on my plan that I have. So D is the correct answer for this. Number 24, it says a scatter plot has a positive association, a strong association. Now the strong means that, the positive means that it has positive slope, and strong means that those points are close to that line. Okay, the answer for this is D. This line has a positive slope, and these points are pretty close to it. If you look at B, that's a negative association, and A and B have no association. So D is the correct answer. Okay. 25. 25 says the graph shows, it's comparing two things, a number of months that a theater club has and a number of years the club has been in business here. It says predict, or based on the trend shown in the data, predict the year after the club will have no members. So it looks like, unfortunately, we have less and less members as we continue. I'm going to draw a line that best fits this. And just looking at this, if I were to draw this line, for no members, that means, so this is where it had 1 year. This is where it was 2 years, around 40 to 50 members. When we get to the 5th year, probably around 20. 6th year, probably around 10. 7 years, less than that. And it looks like we're getting close to 8. 8 is the correct answer for this. That is when it reaches kind of our x-axis, and that'll equal 0. 26. We want to compare two things. We want to find out what is the slope and what is the y-intercept, or what does it mean. Okay, so the slope is how we're moving on the line, and y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis. Okay, so where this line crosses the y-axis, so we're comparing age and sitting height. So as we age, our sitting height gets, as you can see, it increases. All right. So when we're no years old, when we're 0, if you look at the y-axis, it's right over here. That means it's 50. Okay. So how about I look over here, and we're going to put that our y-intercept is 50 centimeters. Okay. So I can cross out. Looks like I can cross out C and I can cross out B, because that's where it says they both say 0 is our y-intercept. That's not true. Okay. All right. Now our slope is rise over run. So what we can do is we're going to figure out how much we're rising and running for the slope of this line. If you look at, we're rising 5 centimeters, and if we go over to 1 to the right, it's going by units of 2. So we're running 2. Okay. So what this is saying is that for every 2 years that I age, I gain 5 centimeters in our sitting height. So if we age 2 more years, we get 5 centimeters taller. 2 years, 5 centimeters taller. Okay. Now, none of these say that the slope is that you gain 5. So we'd have to convert this 2 to become a 1. Okay. I want to find out how much years, or how much am I gaining every year. All right, from 2 to 1, looks like we're dividing by 2. So let's do that for the top. All right, so from 5 divided by 2 doesn't turn out to be a nice number, but it is 2.5. So every year we gain 2.5 centimeters, and that is D. Okay. All right, number 27. 27, we're given a scenario. Tina fills up the bathtub to take a bath. She takes a nice long hot bath and empties the bathtub. Choose the graph that best represents the amount of water in the tub during the process. And the answer for this is C. Okay, so Tina, this part is where she is filling up the bathtub. This part is probably where she's taking a bath, right? So the water is remaining consistent, right? Given time and the amount of water, it's not gaining or decreasing. And this part is where it is losing water, so this we're emptying it. So C is the correct answer. 28, a skate park charges $5 to rent a skateboard plus $2 per every hour. Okay. Now this looks like it is that we're beginning and moving. This leads me to think of slope-intercept form. But if we begin owing $5, so I'm going to look at my y-axis. 5 is right over here. And for every hour that I have to give them $2 more. So I give them $2 more for every hour. $2 more for every hour, and $2 more for every hour. If we continue this, you can kind of see that it follows this line over here, which is B. All right, that is the slope for this. All right, number 29. 29 actually is none are similar. The reason is because I cannot multiply. So for number 2, or sorry, letter A, we're using rectangle 2 and 3. It turns out I can't multiply this rectangle to get to this one. Like if you look at this from 5 to 10, we can multiply by 2, but it doesn't work out. I can't multiply 3 times 2, it's not 9. Okay, and similar argument for B and C. None of these are similar. If you can multiply one rectangle to get to another by a constant number or a common number, that means that they are similar. But none of these work, so it is none. All right. So it says the graph shows Lisa's biking speed. Approximately how long did it take her to reach her maximum speed? So looking at this is time, and our y-axis is speed. Looks like the furthest that we got up here was at 15 miles per hour. Okay, now how long did it take her to get there? What we're really looking at is the acceleration from when we started to right over here. Okay, and it looks like from here to get to this height, it took us just 5 minutes. So our answer is A. Okay. All right, 31. It says the table shows the Titanic survival data, approximately what percentage of males? So percentage of males. So what I want to figure out is how many males survived out of how many males there are, right? Because it says percentage of males, not percentage of all the people. So read that very carefully. All right, so males that survived is 367 divided by how all the males. Our total is 1,731. You can try to convert this to a decimal, but the way you would do that is you would divide the numerator by the denominator. If you want to do this out, it actually turns out to be really close. It is actually 0.21, which converts roughly to 20%, and the answer for this is A. Alright, 32. Two lines intersect to form a 36-degree angle. The lines are rotated 90 degrees about the origin. What is the measure of the angle after the transformation? Okay, so we've already kind of done this. So if you have 36 degrees, we rotated 90, it's still 36. Okay, it maintains their distance. So it's still 36, so the answer is C. Alright, for number 33, it gives us a bunch of information. We have to create a two-way frequency applied that matches that information. What I would hope to do is, I'm going to ignore the answers. Normally I don't want to do that, but what I would do is I'm going to create my own two-way frequency table. Okay, so with this, we have males, females, and total. Okay, we're also comparing whether they are children, adults, and we're also going to put our total here. Okay, I'm just going to read the information that's given us. It says a total of 92 people attended the school play. Okay, so a total of 92 people. I put that over here. This is my grand total. Okay, of the 92 people, 38 were children. So when I'm going to look at children, for the total of it, I look at where they intersect. That is 38. Okay, after that, it says 53 were female. So I'm going to look at female in total and put 53. Okay, not all of the females were adults. 23 of them were children. So I'm going to put 23 where female and children intersect right over there. And it says create a two-way frequency table based on this. Alright, well what we can do is we can use what we know and try to either add or subtract, right? So I know that these two boxes should add up to 38. Well, if we have 23, this has to be 35. Or sorry, 15. 15 plus 23 is 38. Okay, so we're kind of just filling out a puzzle here. Over here, this would have to be 30 because 23 plus 30 is 53. Over here, if I were to subtract 92 minus 38, that would be 54? 54, I believe. Yes, okay. And this would have to be, what plus 30 gives me 54? That is 24. And 15 plus 24 is 39. And does this check out? Does 39 plus 53 equal 92? It does. So this is correct. I'm just going to look over at my answer choices. Which one matches mine? Okay, because I know that this one, for the most part, is correct. Looks like it's going to be D. D is the correct answer. It matches mine. Exactly. Okay, good. Number 34. It says, a table below shows the voting results on a bill of House of Representatives. Which statement is true? Okay, so we're given a whole bunch of information. This is giving us percents. We're noticing the Democrats and Republicans, which ones are saying yes, and the percentage of Republicans and Democrats as well. Okay, it says fewer representatives voted yes than no. Okay, so looking at this, yes is 57 and no is 43. Is that fewer? Nope, that's a false statement. Okay, Republicans tended to vote yes on the bill. Okay, well, Republicans and yes, that was 37. So did they tend to vote yes? It's kind of hard to determine that based on that we have 53%, but there is a majority of Republicans that are voting 37, so let's table that. Let's just mark that up. Both Democrats and Republicans tend to favor the bill. Okay, so tend to favor the bill. Democrats actually didn't favor the bill. They tended to favor no because there's 22%, whereas yes is 20%. So let's cross that out. And there are more Democrats than Republicans in the House of Representatives. We can't quite say that because we're not given the frequency or how many people are in here, right? I don't know how many Republicans, Democrats, or total representatives we have, so that is false. So our true one is yes. Republicans tended to vote yes because there was a majority, 37, as compared to the Republicans that said no, which is 21. All right, on to 35. On to 35 very quickly. We have two transformations. The first one, it is a translation. So if you have an object, you translate it, it doesn't change in size. Okay. Over here, we have a dilation. It's multiplying. We're multiplying our width and our height by 3. Okay. So if I wanted to create an example for this, let's just create a, let's say, 2 by 2 rectangle. Okay. For the first transformation, I would still have the same thing. So if we're to take the perimeter of this for letter A, the perimeter is just adding up all of these, which is 8. Okay. For transformation 2, if I would have to triple this, so this would become 6 by 6 by 6 by 6. Well, this would become 24. Okay. So what this says, letter A is saying it's 3 times as greater. Yep, 24 is 3 times as greater because 8 times 3 is 24. So A is the correct answer for this. All right. Looking at number 36, it says which statement supports a scatter plot that shows a negative association, which means it has a negative slope. Okay, so a perfect straight line of points. Not quite, because you can have a perfect straight line of a point like this. That doesn't mean that it's negative. All right, a line that slopes down to the right. Yep, exactly like that. So this is a negative slope. B is the correct answer. C says a random pattern of points. That's no association. And a point with a horizontal pattern, that's, nope, not even it. It doesn't even have positive nor negative association. So B is the correct answer. Okay. 37, we took these coordinates, or we took these information of number of books and the amount paid. These coordinates are on every problem that we have. Okay. I want to see which is the line of best fit, which means all you do is you see a whole bunch of data, what line best fits it, and that is D. It fits perfectly, kind of like in the middle, it's intersecting some points, and D is the correct answer. 38. 38, you want to find the volume of a hemisphere. Hemisphere is, for a sphere, it is 4/3 pi r cubed. And with this, if I want hemisphere, hemisphere is half of it. What I could do is I could find the volume of this and cut it in half, or you know what, I'm going to change this 4 and cut that in half. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay. Now if I compute this, this is actually for a hemisphere. Alright, so let's put in what we know. We know that the diameter is 12, so that the radius has to be 6, right? It's half of the diameter. Okay, so 6 cubed. 6 cubed is 216. 216 times 2, it's 500 and I believe 32. If I'm saying this correctly. Okay, 532. And we're going to divide this by 3. Okay, with this, we're going to divide this by 3, so let me make sure that this is correct. So 36 times 1. Okay, so with this, if we divide this by 3, 532 divided by 3. Oh, sorry, this should be 432. Alright, so 432 divided by 3. Okay, well 3 can go into 4 once. Alright, we're going to have a remainder of 3. It can go into here 4 times. That will be 12. Minus 1, bring down the 2. It can go into here 4 times. So it's 144 for this. And it looks like B is our correct answer. Okay. Alright, for number 39. Number 39 requires some analysis on the rate of change and the y-intercepts. We can't really find the y-intercept right now, but we can find definitely the rate of change. Okay, the rate of change it's how much we're increasing or decreasing. Let's look at our y's. Our y's looks like we're getting bigger here, and we're getting bigger by 8 units. For our x's, it looks like we're getting smaller. We're getting smaller by 2 units. Okay, so that's a -2. Now with this, our slope or our rate of change. So slope and rate of change mean the same thing. It's always y over x, right? How much we're going up and down versus how much we're moving vertically or horizontally. So our y's, if you look over here, our y's are on the bottom. Okay, we could switch it, but for now we have them on the bottom. So it's 8 over -2. Okay, if we were to simplify this, this would be 4 divided by -1. And with this, this would simplify to -4. So we can use either B or D. So let's cross out A and C, right? Because they have -1/4. So it's either between B and D. Okay, so now I want to find the y-intercept. Y-intercepts can either be 4 or -1. Okay. Now to find the y-intercept, that's where x is 0. If I look at my x's, we don't have an x where it's 0. Okay, we kind of have an incomplete pattern here. It's kind of all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to organize this. All right, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to create my own table here. So we have x's, we have y's. Okay. All right, now starting with this, I want x's all the way from 4 as far as I can go. So we have 4. I'm just going to, looks like we're decreasing here, so I'm just going to go like this. So 1, 0, -1, -2. I'm going to stop at -3, even though it continues. Now the information that we know based on here, we know 4, when x is 4, y is -12. When we have 2, we know that the y is -4. And when we have -3, we know that the y is 16. Okay. Knowing that my rate of change for our m, it's y over x, which is 4 over -1. Which means when my x decreases by 1, my y increases by 4. Okay, so if you look over here, from here to here, here to here, here to here, it's all decreasing by 1. Okay, so I want these are y's, even though it's kind of, this looks like it's on the top and this is on the bottom, it's kind of reverse here. Just note that we want to match our y's and our x's. So these need to increase by 4. Okay, alright, so if I increase by 4, this will be -8, this will be 0, this will be 4, this will be 8, this will be 12, and awesome, this is already 16, so it matches up. Now if we want to find our y-intercept, that's where x is 0. X is 0 right over here. My y is 4. So this, our y-intercept is then 4, and B is the correct answer here. Okay, we kind of had to extend this chart, but for the most part we were able to find both the rate of change and the y-intercept. Just note that the y-intercept is where x is 0. X has to be 0. Alright, 40, which has an example of no association, so that one does not cause the other. Let's read it. A person's shoe size compared to their weight. Okay, now we don't normally have shoe sizes compared to weight. This is the actual answer. It does not correspond, it has no association. Alright, and that has been all 20 problems. Good luck.